needs to be done to rebuild manufacturing in South Australia?
Well, I see the biggest single factor impacting on rebuilding manufacturing industry in South Australia as being new innovation, new technology, which can be applied both in the products and in the way you make those products. And if we don't innovate in this state, then we won't rebuild manufacturing industry and we won't create the jobs and the economic activity we hope to. Innovation is by far the most important single ingredient, I think, because it means that you're able to compete on the quality of the product and on the reasons why people will seek that product.
What role does globalisation play in South Australia's future?
I think that South Australia needs to focus on becoming part of a global market. Free trade agreements will help. Perhaps one of the biggest benefits from the free trade agreements will be that it simply puts in our psyche that we need to be part of a global market. Globalisation will help to be able to create jobs, to expand our industry, very importantly to take small startup companies with new technology and to start them off on a secure road as they grow and develop.
Is there actually a role for government to play in the development of innovation?
Innovation has a cost, and what the government should be doing is helping to alleviate some of those costs, but not trying to stand in the way, not trying to do it as a government, simply acknowledging and rewarding and assisting those companies that are out there with new innovation.
Can you mention some of the absolute essential things that need to happen for our economy to blossom?
We need to be attracting more immigrants because a lot of Australia's growth in population comes from immigration. We also need to encourage South Australians who've left the state to come back to be part of it. A number of them do and really appreciate the fact that they have.
People speak of a transformation happening with South Australia's economy. What are your views?
We've always been very strong in manufacturing industry and we've lost a lot of jobs in that area and we'll continue to lose jobs, particularly where you have large products like the automotive industry, where it's very difficult for a small country, a small market, to compete. But that doesn't mean that we can't have new manufacturing industry here in this state, which can compete globally. I've seen numerous examples in South Australia of small enterprises that have been very successful in taking on world markets. And I could quote examples of companies where over 90% of their manufacturing is sold outside of Australia.
So what does the Impact Awards actually mean to you?
Well, I see the Impact Awards firstly highlighting, and this is the short term, highlighting what innovation is available in South Australia and encouraging those innovators to then commercialise that not only nationally but internationally. Secondly, I think in the longer term you'll find the Impact Awards will encourage new innovation here in South Australia and start to build this cultural difference that everything we do needs to be at the leading edge of the world, whether it's providing a service, whether it's attracting tourists into South Australia, or whether it's manufacturing a product. People around the world will buy your expertise if your expertise or your product is the best they can get. What are the next steps that need to be taken? And people within South Australia need to pick up this baton and run with it very strongly indeed. And the Impact Awards is some encouragement towards that.
Okay, here's an interesting one. If you happen to be thrust back into power, what are the things that you would do now?
Well, I guess most of my life, particularly in government and Parliament, was devoted to looking for opportunities to develop new technology here in South Australia and to encourage the innovators. We need to have a common understanding in South Australia as to what are the key ingredients to rebuild long-term employment and job opportunities in the state. I'm not sure that the last budget hit the nail on the head. In fact, I don't think it did. And there needs to therefore be a debate led by the government, with full support from the opposition, about what are those key items. And this needs to go beyond just a Labor government or a Liberal government. There needs to be continuity in the long term in what we're trying to achieve. I think that can be achieved. And I think we can achieve it by getting together people, for instance, those involved in the Impact Awards, to help lead that debate and discussion. Because I think the political parties will come along with it if there's good leadership from outside the Parliament.